Good evening and welcome to Up South for all the top news stories from South India with me, T.S. Sudhir. Our top story and focus continues to be on the big Jaya verdict, and now there seems to be a dramatic twist, or at least that's what the prosecution and Jayalalitha's political opponents would like to believe. Special Public Prosecutor B.V. Acharya has pointed to some calculation mistakes in the Jayalalithaa verdict, and he says some of the assets of Jayalalithaa, the former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, have been miscalculated by Justice Kumaraswamy while delivering his verdict. This, he believes, is a serious mistake, and he told Headlines Today's Rohini Swamy that will be the basis of their appeal in the Supreme Court.
Without going into any details, there is a mere sheer mathematical calculation in totaling, and if it is correctly totaled, the disproportionate asset comes to 16 crores and 32 lakhs as against 2 crores and odd fixed by the judge. Correct. And he said it is only 8.2%, but actually it comes to now 76% excess of the income.
So he's also...
Therefore, according to his own finding, the conviction of the accused is correct.
Joining me now from Bengaluru is our Deputy Editor Rohini Swamy. Rohini Swamy, let's make this very clear that we are not kind of casting any aspersions on the verdict in the Jayalalithaa case. This is what B.V. Acharya, the Special Public Prosecutor in the Jayalalithaa case, has told Headlines today. Now, what are the points that he's essentially making on the basis of which the lawyers are now going to appeal to the Supreme Court? Why do they think it's a serious mistake made in the Jayalalithaa verdict?
Well, when I did speak to Public Prosecutor Mr. B.V. Acharya, what he was saying is he's gone through the 900 pages of the judgment, but he does find certain things which they say that they can use as to appeal against the judgment. One point being the fact that they say that they find, according to their calculations, mathematical errors in that. For the simple reason that if her disproportionate assets is not 8% but 76%, and that they're saying also in terms of the list of items that have been mentioned in the judgment, they only total up to 10 crores when the judge has talked about 34 crores. Now, these are the points that they will be raising in the appeal they'll be filing the Supreme Court. Another point also that what Mr. B.V. Acharya also said is the fact that they will look at a review of this judgment, and this review is only possible of any criminal case based on if there is a mathematical miscalculation. And that is a point they're holding on to, saying that there is a mathematical miscalculation, and that is why they would like to seek review under 323 of the Criminal Procedure Act.
Okay, so Rohini, just to put it in simple terms, what you're saying is that the disproportionate assets is not just about 2 crores change, but much more than that. That's the basic basis of what Mr. Acharya is saying. But is that really a very strong point for them to go to the Supreme Court on? How confident are they?
Well, that is the claim of the prosecution, that is pretty much a strong case, good enough to, when they appeal in the Supreme Court, that they could present the case and the Supreme Court will maybe possibly relook at the whole way in which the disproportionate asset case has been looked into and the judgment that has been passed by the High Court. But what they're also saying is that these facts that he has put forward and spoken to us about, this itself shows the fact that they have a strong case enough to appeal against this particular judgment, and that is why that conference, with that conference, the prosecution says they're going to go all the way to the Supreme Court.
Okay, right. Thanks a lot, Rohini Swamy, for joining us with that story from Bengaluru. Of course, the prosecution making the claim that they have something to hang on to and go in appeal to the Supreme Court. We'll have to see how the Apex Court reacts to that, what they call the serious mistake. Let's get into reaction from Chennai. What's happening in Chennai? Former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalithaa did not make a public appearance even today, more than 24 hours after that big dramatic Jaya verdict was delivered by the Karnataka High Court. Incidentally, the same Justice Kumaraswamy, whose mistakes are now being pointed out by the prosecution, was fitted almost like a big hero in Tamil Nadu yesterday. Joining me now is my colleague Shisha Reddy from outside Poise Garden, which is Jayalalitha's residence. Shisha, the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam just now met Jayalalithaa. He could not meet her yesterday, even though he went inside her residence. Now, how long was the meeting? When is it expected that he could step down as the Chief Minister of the state?
Well, Sudhi, the meeting did go on for about 2 hours. In fact, he was waiting, so we really don't know what was the time frame of the meeting did take place, because yes, of course, he was waiting, and yesterday also we did see Pannirselvam going into Jayalalitha's residence, and yesterday she did not meet any of these people who were waiting outside. And today, even the ministers and the MLAs also went to Jayalalitha's residence to meet her, and we did try to get in a word from the Chief Minister Pannirselvam, but he did not speak to the media. Of course, yes, he did meet her, that is a word, but there is no official word on when he'll be stepping down. But however, people have been waiting right outside Poise Garden residence of Jayalalitha's to get a glimpse of the former Chief Minister or when she will make a public appearance to all these people who have been waiting to know what it is all about.
Right. Shisha Reddy, thanks a lot for joining us there from Poise Garden in Chennai. But even as everyone severs the Jaya verdict, especially the AIDMK cadre in Tamil Nadu, the opposition ranks are extremely worried, because especially for the DMK, the party of the rising sun, this verdict threatens to almost eclipse the party, especially 1 year before the assembly elections in 2016. But even for other parties like the TMC, the Tamil Manala Congress, or Vaiko's MDMK, they have actually started making conciliatory noises about Jayalalithaa. And as far as the BJP is concerned, which was saying that don't vote for either of the two corrupt Dravidian parties and vote for the BJP, it's time to go back to the drawing board. Let's listen into some of the reactions that Shisha Reddy and Revathi Rajivan got from different political parties in Tamil Nadu.
Politically, I don't know what impact it will have here. But while going for elections, we have but the DMK has a better chance because of the total failure, rampant corruption, and total failure of administration in the state, which has affected all sections of the people.
The judgment of this case is not alone false, and I think it's actually, you can call it a black day in the history of Indian judiciary. I think Karnataka will definitely go for an appeal.
I think there may be change of government, but who could be the beneficiary? The DMK's morale is down, and the first family of DMK is facing serious cases, which may be concluded by December 15. So this time only BJP, that is NDA, is the visible alternate available to the people.
For any decision, anywhere, any state, any leader in the country, I think no party has been a single party in giving a verdict.
Right. Let's get in a perspective from Tamil Nadu. Our Mani political analyst and senior journalist joins me from Chennai. Mr. Mani, Delhi and many other parts of North India experienced an earthquake today, but would you feel that the real tremors, the political tremors, were actually felt in Chennai at around 11 o'clock yesterday?
Obviously, yes, it's true. No one has expected this result. The talk of the town and everyone in Tamil Nadu, not only among the political class but also in civil society, thought that the conviction will be upheld. If not fully, at least partially it will be upheld. But to contrary to everyone's expectations, the judgment was overturned and she was acquitted. For opposition, it's a very big blow, and I have not seen this sort of disappointment by the opposition in recent times. Now they have to pull up their socks to put up a united fight against Jayalalithaa, if at all they should have any relevance in Tamil Nadu's politics.
Absolutely. In fact, over the last 7 months, we are seeing a listless administration, a government which is almost in pause mode in Tamil Nadu. But if and when Jayalalithaa takes over as the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, we are likely to see a slew of inaugurations. There are lots of projects which are just waiting for the ribbon to be cut by Jayalalithaa. Do you think that welfare agenda will actually help them in the run-up to the elections in a year from now?
Yes, I do believe that. See, people's memory is very short. Yes, you are right that in the past 7 months the government has come to a standstill, and no new schemes were initiated or inaugurated, and there are several schemes. For example, Chennai Metro Rail, the first phase of Metro Rail is waiting for Amma's return. Once she is back in saddle, I think these sort of things will go in a forward movement. There are 500 buses which has to be inducted into the Transport Corporation, plus other schemes are waiting. It's better for the state to Jayalalithaa take over the administration as early as possible.
Right. Mr. R. Mani, thanks a lot for joining us with that perspective from Chennai. News now from Karnataka, where the Bengaluru cops have decided to act like the moral police. In fact, a techie working for a multinational in Bengaluru was asked several embarrassing questions by the cops who were there for the police verification required for a passport. In fact, she was asked, how can you live in with someone before marriage? And it's simply not right. And the techie claims that she was subjected to such questions by the Kadugudu police when she went to get her passport renewed. Her passport was to expire in September this year. The techie got an appointment at the regional passport office on the 17th of March. She submitted her documents, but she finally had to dash off a letter to the police commissioner with all the documentation as proof, after which the techie claims the tone of the local police changed. Joining me now from Bengaluru is Debjani Krishnan. Debjani, what was your first reaction when the police who had come there for police verification asked you these kind of questions?
Disgust. And I think more than me, my husband told him, how does it matter to you who I live with? We were really disappointed and frustrated.
Debjani, Bengaluru is a cosmopolitan city. This is hardly the kind of thing you would expect to hear and see in a city like Bengaluru. Now, these kind of incidents have been a dampener. What do you have to say?
See, a city becomes cosmopolitan not just by the people who live in there. It's more about the people who run it too. Bangalore is cosmopolitan because people from all over the world are living here, but the authorities who are still running it are not. They are still medieval, kind of feudal in their thought process. They refuse to speak to us in English. They want to insist that we speak in Kannada. They have issues with us living in, or I mean all kinds of, you won't believe it. There was one more thing that I have not mentioned here. I was married before to somebody whose surname is a Mukherjee, and I decided to retain it because all my investments and everything is in that name. That's a personal choice I made. The first time when I went to the passport office, I had to answer the lady there, how come I got a divorce from my husband but I want to still retain his surname? I don't understand how this has got anything to do with anybody other than me.
Extremely shocking, Debjani there. Let's get a reaction from the Commissioner of Bengaluru Police, M.N. Reddy, on what he thinks of the behavior of his cops who had actually gone there for police verification.
Now, in what context, if at all these kind of questions are asked, and whether they should have been asked at all, these questions, whether she is living as a married wife or not, was not relevant according to me. Whether she was residing there is relevant. So I have ordered an inquiry by the Deputy Commissioner, and I've asked him to submit a report in 2 days. If the truth comes out that what she's saying is true or anything like that is true, I will act.
Right, that was M.N. Reddy, the Commissioner of Bengaluru Police, and in fact we have just learned that the passport office has told Debjani that the police verification has been done and that has been cleared. So that's some good news, but definitely the Bengaluru Police will really have to do a lot of thinking about some of the behavior and the attitudes of their cops who go for this kind of verification. Now this story coming in from Vijaywada, where the Telugu Desam MLA there from Vijaywada Central seems to be really high on par, and so is his son. What they did on Sunday was, on the birthday of his second son, that they went on a huge bike and car racing inside the city of Vijaywada. There are the shots you can see from Vijaywada. There you see a cop actually facilitating these kind of boys hanging out of cars, going on this joyride on the main street of Vijaywada. This is the Eluru Machilipatnam road, for those who are familiar with Vijayawada's geography. They were flouting every single rule. You can see many of them actually doing triple riding. The traffic is actually stopped at one junction for them, and there was of course this constable who was actually facilitating what they are doing. Let's listen in to the Telugu Desam MLA, the ruling party in Andhra Pradesh, Bonda Umameshwar Rao, what he has to say, and also the reactions coming in from the opposition parties in Andhra Pradesh.
हमारा influence, हमारा नाम, हमारा गवर्नमेंट का नाम बदनाम करने के लिए ट्राई कर रहा है. ये दिस इज वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट चीप ट्रिक्स by whoever it may be, playing the tricks, very cheap tricks.
I wanna request the police to take action on them and don't let people to violate the traffic rules and everything.
Joining me now is Pratibha Raman. Pratibha, this is extremely shocking, the kind of reactions coming from the father, who seems to be quite an indulgent father, actually defending what his second son did on the day of his birthday on Sunday. Now, what are the reactions coming from people in Vijaywada, and how can really this MLA get away with this kind of a brazen display of power?
Well, Sudhir, the first and foremost thing is people in Vijaywada are absolutely outraged by the kind of reaction that has been displayed by the MLA, who's just about treating this as any other small mistake that's committed by the son that can be forgiven as well as forgotten. Number two, this is not the first case. Even his elder son had indulged in such kind of activities, absolute disregard for traffic rules, which also involved the death of one person, but nothing was done about the case. So clearly, no lessons learnt there. The last thing is the kind of action that has been taken by the traffic police here, absolutely washing off their hands by just giving off an e-challan, and that's the kind of system that we are talking of, where if you are an MLA's son, you can even get away with murder. Sudhir.
Right, absolutely. In fact, you can get away with anything as far as Vijaywada and Andhra Pradesh is concerned. That seems to be the message coming out, especially after seeing these scenes of flouting all traffic rules there in Vijaywada, and the MLA, the ruling party MLA, saying nothing really wrong with it, and it's a very minor issue that is being blown out of proportion. Pratibha Raman, thanks a lot for joining us on that story. Welcome back. You're with Up South. Now, we have been bringing you stories of Facebook pages which are promoting pedophilia both in Malayalam and in Tamil. And in fact, we had raised the question whether it is safe to put and post your children's photographs on Facebook, because these pages pick up photographs from just about anywhere and put on these pages which invite extremely vulgar and crass and sexually explicit comments. Now, after a complaint by a child rights group to the Chennai Police Commissioner, a 27-year-old man whose photograph you can see on the screen has been picked up from Tirupati. He's Yadava Manikanta, and he had apparently created 4 Facebook pages which were promoting pedophilia, and he was picking up pictures from just about anywhere and also clicking some pictures of tourists in Tirupati. He has been brought to Chennai and remanded to judicial custody. The police is also trying to identify those who posted likes and comments, because there were as many as 3,000 members of one of those pages that this gentleman called Yadava Manikanta had created. Right, so that hopefully would be a strong message to those who are indulging in these kind of creating of pedophilic pages on Facebook. That's it then on Up South this Tuesday evening. News and updates will continue on Headlines Today.